What's up, math scholars and math haters? This is Mr. W. Today we're going to tackle question 22 in the 6th grade math questions that North Carolina released this past school year. We can see that we have a net, which is basically what happens if you unfold of a three-dimensional figure is shown. So we've unfolded this triangular prism, and we have two triangles and three rectangles here, and we're supposed to find out the surface area of the three-dimensional figure. Now, a surface area of the three-dimensional figure is just the total area of this net. So that's not going to be quite as horrific as it may seem. But in order to do really well in a question like this, we'll need to know how to find the area of a rectangle and of a triangle and of compound shapes, and we'll also need to know about properties of these nets of these 3D figures. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and make sure I have all the information I need. There's some things that the problem doesn't explicitly say. The biggest thing that it doesn't explicitly say is that this side and this side are congruent, that they're equal. But I'm going to assume that they are, because North Carolina wouldn't be that cruel. So I'm going to say that this side is 5 feet, and then this side is also 5 feet. They also don't specifically say that this triangle has the same dimensions as this triangle, but I'm going to go ahead and assume that that's true because it looks about the same. And if you get into higher level math like geometry, you can't really do this, but for right now, this is okay. 4 feet, 5 feet, and 5 feet. So the next couple pieces of information that I need to fill in are the rest of the sides of my rectangles. Basically, if I can imagine folding this up, I would take these two triangles and fold them so that they were kind of vertical. These two rectangles on the side here would come up so that this looks like a big triangular shaped box. Essentially, this side would fold right over onto this one, which means that if this one's 5 feet, this is 5 feet. This would fold right over onto this one, so it's also 5 feet. This one would fold onto this one, so it's 5 feet. Same thing for this little side folding onto this side of the triangle. That is also 5 feet. And now, for each of my 3 vertical sides that are left, everything else looks the same, so I think I can reasonably assume that this is all 10 feet. Alright, so now I have 5 different shapes that I'm going to need to work with. The nice thing is that I can find some pairs of shapes. So this triangle and this triangle are the same. I'll just figure out the area of one of these and add it twice. This rectangle and this rectangle are the same. I'll just figure out the area of one of them and add it twice when I'm trying to figure out the total area of this entire thing. Okay, so now let's go over some formulas. For the area of a rectangle, my handwriting is small and crude and probably mostly illegible, but that says that to find the area of a rectangle, we need its length and its width. And then for the area of a triangle, we need a base, which is a horizontal line, and a height, which is a vertical line. We need to multiply those together and divide that by 2. Okay, so let's start with my rectangles. And I will start with my pair of rectangles first. Just worry about one of them. And then when I say that I'm adding up all my areas, add this area up twice. So for this rectangle, our length is going to be 5 and our width is going to be 10. So 5 times 10, whether you use your times tables or a calculator, you'll get 50. So now I'm going to come over here and just write out all the areas that I'm going to need to add up. This rectangle is 50. This rectangle, since it's a twin of this one, is also 50. So I'll need to add 50 twice. Next, I'll figure out this rectangle in the center. For this one, my length is now 6. My width is still 10. Length times width now is 6 times 10, and that's 60. Now this rectangle doesn't have a twin. I only need to add it once. And at this point, I come to my triangles now. And for my triangles, I'll need a base, which is a horizontal line, and height, which is a vertical line. So that's 6 and 4. So my area of one of these triangles is going to be 1/2 times 6 times 4. Whether you do this in your calculator or whatever, you'll get an answer of 12. Okay, so now, and I went ahead and wrote 12 twice because this triangle has a twin over here. So now all I need to do is add up all of these numbers. 50 plus 50 plus 60 plus 12 plus 12 gives me 184, which matches answer choice A. So thank goodness this question was a doozy. Even though the math was simple, it was still a lot of work to get to the answer. And we're finally done. Answer's A, 184 square feet.